Hello everyone! We decided to do our part 2 videos, and the title is Why You Moved to the Philippines.
I'm ready to go.
Question number 1. Why did you want to move to my country, the Philippines?
Alright, so with the first video I kind of explained why I left the US. So it has a lot to do with why I'm here. But specifically to talk about the Philippines is the people. I said it many times. I visited here 4 times before I moved here, and every time that I came here, I really enjoyed being around the Filipino people. Sense of family, a lot of fun, and I really do like the way the system is set up here. As odd as that sounds, where you are responsible for your own actions. It's the opposite of the US, where there's all these safety nets. Here, you have to hustle and make it on your own. And that within itself makes a very strong family and neighbor network. So that attracted me. Next up is, I watched you in the US. She was in the US for 28 years, you guys know that. And I watched her miss her family. I was with my family, and my family is Wilma's family, but you know what I mean. She missed her family. And every year, I saw the joy of her packing up many, many balikbayan boxes, food and clothing, and sending it to the Philippines, and how happy she was doing that. And then, she would try to make phone calls to her family, her mom and dad especially. Sometimes it would take 2 or 3 days just to get through. So that was also a factor that when we retired, I would like to bring my wife back to the Philippines so she could spend time with the family. Now, obviously, we're in the middle of a build, and we're here on Negros for 6 or 7 months, 8 months until the house is totally built. But we will travel back and forth. You guys know she has a house in the Philippines, so we're going to be spending time here as well as there. And then, of course, her family will become visiting, and then her mom will come and stay with us as much as she would like, even though I've said many times she'll love to visit, but then she wants to go back to her barangay. She really enjoys living where she grew up, but she knows she's always welcome. So that's really the 2 reasons. The fact that I really fell in love with the Philippines and everything it stands for, and then of course allowing my wife to be back with her family.
Well, I think that's very nice of you for allowing me being there with my family.
Yeah.
And I know we're far away from them right now because we're in the middle of building the home.
Yeah.
But once the home is done, we can go back and forth more often.
Absolutely.
And thank you, I appreciate that very much.
Yeah. It's only 2 boat rides.
Yes, that's it. That's all it takes. Okay, so my second question to you is, what do you like the most about the Philippines?
The people, without question. I've said it many times. It's hard to explain. If you haven't visited the Philippines, you just don't know. If you have visited the Philippines, you've experienced everything that I experience every day. The people here are always smiling, always very respectful. And again, this is what I see. Your story may be different, but I've been in Leyte, I guess about 11 months. I've been here now about 6 months. So I have 17 months experience in the Philippines, 2 different islands, and experienced the exact same thing. The people here are just so kind, generous. They help each other all the time. Now, I'm not talking about foreigners, I'm talking about the locals. I'll give you some examples. I go to the grocery store, and they want to carry the groceries out to the car. They want to stack the groceries in my truck. And then when I go to give them a tip, they say, no sir, new rule, I'm not allowed to take a tip, even though we sneak it. Even at the job site, I'll go out there and start shoveling something, and somebody will come out there and say, no sir, I'll do that for you. I'm like, no, you're doing your own job. I don't mind doing this. The people here are so kind and friendly, and it doesn't matter where you go. It could be the mall. It could be just a little sorry store. You walk into this little tiny store and the person greets you with a smile and says, "Hi, sir, how are you? Good afternoon, sir. What can I do to help you, sir?" They're very, very helpful. And it's 100% of the people that we encounter. And again, it's hard to understand that or even believe me until you lived it. Now, is there issues? Of course there's issues. There's always issues. But Wilma and I just haven't experienced it. Even the professionals, our architect or our lawyer, they go out of their way to assist us. Customer service. You saw the video that we did on the Mitsubishi Strata, getting the oil change. That is what customer service should be, and that's what it is here. They go out of their way to do a great job, and there's reasons for that, and hopefully I get a chance to explain that.
Okay, that was a good explanation there. Well, my next question is going to be, what do you like the least about the Philippines?
I get myself in trouble. It's got to be the infrastructure. The infrastructure here, this is a developing country, so infrastructure is a challenge. Now, the good news is the Philippines are investing a lot of money in fixing things. I'll give you an example. The roads first comes to mind. They're working on widening the roads because they're used to having the very small cars or just scooters, and now there's a lot of pickup trucks and regular cars on the road, so they're widening the roads. But a good example is drainage on the roads. We experienced that today. When it rains, it floods. That's because there's not proper drainage. So it's very, very frustrating. A lot of bad things flow into the ocean. There could be a hotel right on the ocean, and guess where certain things go? Into the ocean. That's not a good thing. It needs to be corrected. I'm sure it will. So I would say infrastructure. Out of stock.
That is true. That's pretty common here.
Out of stock, sir. Let me tell you a story. Almost every time you go somewhere, it could be a restaurant, it could be a store. It happened today. We actually stopped at a little store to pick up something that should be there, and they're like, "Out of stock, sir." So now you have to go to the next store. So logistics is a challenge here. So if you're going to come visit or come move here, you have to be ready for that. You go to a store and they won't have basic things. Now there's 7,000 islands here. So let me try to put it in perspective. The U.S. has 50 states. Imagine if every state had an ocean around it, but yet it was still the United States. So say you live in New York and you work in Connecticut. Well, you need to take a boat to work every day. Or if you have a family member in New Jersey, you have to go to the port, get in line, pay for your ticket, get on the ship, take a ship across the ocean, get off, drive to your destination. Boats are always late. We took a boat once from Leyte to Bohol, supposed to leave at 12 noon, left at 5 p.m. So what do? We got there like 11, so what do we do from 11 to 5? Just sit in the truck and wait. It's the only ship leaving. We could have went home, but we were like 2 hours from the port. Plus we had things to do in Bohol, reservations at hotels, meeting up with realtors. So it takes all day. So just imagine going to visit somebody in another state and say it takes 12 hours to get there and then 12 hours to get back. So delays in logistics has a lot of reason with the out of stocks, and you have to be patient.
That is true. You had to be patient. You can't change things the way it is here now. You just have to go with the flow.
Go with the flow, and things will improve. But also, again, keep in mind, all 50 states, ocean in between. It's a challenge.
Yes. Okay, my next question is a little personal. Am I different from other Filipina you met?
I have never met any other Filipinos but you. Only joking. Of course. I mean, that goes without saying. And, you know, not to put down anybody, but you were in the U.S. for 28 years. You have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of education that I guess, unfortunately, a lot of people here haven't had that opportunity. So it's kind of a hard question to answer. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is all the expat meetings that we have. A lot of foreigners here get together every few weeks. They usually pick a resort or a hotel or a nice restaurant, and a lot of them have pools, for example. And all the Filipinas will be on one end of the pool, talking, doing their selfies, and then all the guys will be talking about how great we are, and Wilma's actually over with the guys with me in the conversation. So she's not just there standing next to me, she's actually engaged in world affairs. And other Filipinos won't do that. I guess maybe just because they're not versed in world affairs. I guess that would be number one. Maybe they're shy about speaking English. I mean, I don't know specifically, but you are very much Americanized, and I don't say that's a bad thing. It's a good thing. So yeah, you're very different from the Filipinos that I've met.
But if we are in a party, like Christmas party or Thanksgiving's party, when they invite us, I interact with the girls. You know, I have so much fun
Oh,
with
absolutely,
them.
yeah.
That's, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I saw you dancing.
Yes, we're dancing, or they're singing. Well, I can't sing or anything, so, but I dance.
No, that's true. I mean, it's not like you're just in with the gut. Absolutely,
Yes.
you mingle and you move around. And I see you do things socially that you're supposed to do. You go from table to table and make sure that you talk to everybody, not just one group of people. So that's very respectful, and that's something that you should do. It's an etiquette, and you just automatically know how to do that. But that was your years in the U.S. that has helped you with that. You know, you just have a wealth of knowledge of life experiences that some people just don't have. So it's not a negative or a knock on them. It's just a fact. So yeah, we have a lot in common, and you know,
Yes.
that's why our marriage is good, because you're not just someone that I've met and they don't have that wealth of knowledge, and I try to talk to them about a certain topic and they don't know anything about it. If I talk to you about a certain topic, you have an opinion on that topic, and
Yes.
that's important. So,
That is.
yeah.
Well, I was
So I'm
to
lucky.
say- and I was
Lucky.
fortunate to experience all that.
Correct. Very fortunate.
Yes.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay, next question. How are things different between the U.S. and the Philippines?
That's gonna, I think, get me in trouble. Goes back to the video number one. Entitled society, no entitlements, or virtually zero entitlements. Safety nets wherever you go in the U.S. Make as many mistakes as you want. We will catch you. Here, you make a mistake, not only do you suffer, your entire family suffers. I like the Philippine system. I just do. It's the way I am. I consider myself a conservative. I'm an independent. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I want nothing to do with either side. I'll make my own decision on how I think about things. But I think one of the big issues with the U.S. is there's too many safety nets. You know, all these entitlements are great, but it's gone overboard, and it's made to society weak. It's made to society entitled, spoiled, and like I said, the people who complain the most are the ones with their hands out. or the ones that are takers. In my world, you go to work, you get a paycheck, you pay your bills, you put away money. That's the way it should be. So here in the Philippines, I like the system here. It makes go-getters. People do not make a lot of money, and that has to do with other things, why this is a poor country. There's things that could be done here to make things better, but it's the system. No foreigner should get involved or even want to get involved. The system is the way it is. But what it has done has created workers, great customer service. When you get a job here, you hold on to the job. You do a great job because there is not another job. If you lose your job, there's no unemployment. And if you lose your job, not only do you suffer by not having a paycheck, but more than likely your wife, your children, and your parents are going to suffer. So all that pressure is why the Filipino worker, is just someone who's going to do a great job. And I see it every single day. And I like that system. Totally opposite. Some people would say, having entitlements is a great thing. That's your opinion. I think having a more harsher system, which I guess that's the right way of explaining it here, has created people with a work ethic, which I think has been lost in the U.S. I think it creates family bonding, neighbor-to-neighbor bonding, because no one is going to help you other than your family and neighbor, period. So instead of reaching with your hand out for whatever entitlement there is, it's not there. So you're going to make sure that you're going to do a good job. In the U.S., I could go to work and do a horrible job on purpose, get terminated, and get free money. Here, you wouldn't even think about that. It's the complete opposite, because there's nobody here to bail you out. Your family and neighbor is the people who are going to bail you out. I like that system.
That is true. That's so true.
I rambled a little bit.
Okay, last question. What are you the most surprised about moving to the Philippines?
Most surprised. I think I said this on the channel. All the YouTube channels, all the research I've done here is, I always say, it's beaches and bikinis. And there's nothing wrong with nice beaches, and there's definitely nothing wrong with nice bikinis, according to who's wearing the bikini. That matters. But I would say, and again, rough numbers, out of all the foreigners that come here, so let's say out of 100% of the foreigners, 90% are people that have done well in their first world country, maybe done okay, maybe have not done well at all, and that's why they're coming here. Call it looking for love, long distance relationship, coming here single. That is probably 90%. Maybe it's 80%. We're in the minority. We're probably that 10, 20%. And you don't see a ton of it on YouTube. You just don't. We've tapped into with this channel. So what's the benefit of building the Philippines? Is the friendships that we have made with people just like us. Though it's in the minority, there is quite a few people, and I told Wilma I got 3 more emails today. I'm getting emails all the time as the channel gets more and more popular of people just like us in committed relationships, been married a long time, mostly in a first world country, Europe, Canada, US, Australia. You know, I'm getting emails from all over the place, I've gotten quite a few from Norway, Scotland, Ireland. I mean, you just go right down, Belgium, quite a few different countries where foreigners or people in their country are looking to retire to the Philippines because they're married to a Filipina, and they want to come here and buy a piece of land, and they want to build their retirement home because it's cheaper here to live, and they just want to live out their years here in the Philippines enjoying themselves. It has a lot to do with the weather, the tropics, the ocean, you know, all of the above. And then the Filipina, like Wilma, gets to spend time with her family as well, where, you know, they were in another country for many, many years. So putting all that together, that's the big surprise. The big surprise is that we tapped into that 10-20%, that's my number, of people just like Wilma and I. And we've met a lot of them. We've met some for coffee in the morning, a couple for lunch. They've come up to the work site, some of them, and their story so much matches our story. Worked real hard, high stress job, saved some money, and is disappointed in their home country. It's not just the US where people are saying, you know, the American dream is lost, I want to leave the country. You're hearing it, or I'm hearing it, Wilma's hearing it, in other countries as well. So this is not exclusive to the US. We've met so many people that have said, I want to move to the Philippines, and we would like to do what you guys are doing. Find a nice little piece of land. It's always with an overlooking view of the ocean. Build a nice, simple house like we are, and enjoy their retirement. We're very happy to have met some really good people.
Yes, yes. We meet so many nice people here.
Yeah, it's amazing, and we hope that, you know, some of them turn into long-term friendships for sure. But yeah, we've met some really nice people, and I think that's the big surprise. When it comes to the Philippines, I was here 4 times before. I knew what I was getting myself into, so nothing surprises me there. It's the nice people like us that we've met.
Yes.
So is that it?
I think that's it.
All right. All right, guys. So I got through my 2 interviews. Let me know what you think. This is not an interview channel by any stretch, though we may do some interviews from time to time. I do want to interview my contractor at the end of the build. I do want to interview the architect as well as our lawyer. That's 3 interviews that we want to do, and we'll make sure that that happens, but we want to wait to the end of the build to do that. So comment below what you think about the last couple videos regarding Wilma interviewing me, and our next video will be up at the work site. Take care.